Hey everybody, it's Claire. Thanks so much for stopping by. I am going to be sharing my freelance makeup artist story today. Now, so many of you guys have requested for this, and I just thank you so much for wanting to actually hear about my story and just taking interest in me in general. And some of you guys have been watching me for such a long time, it blows my mind, and I always recognize your logos and your names and your screen names, and it's just really crazy that I just wish I could meet more of you. And if you are new to my channel, my name is Claire, and I am a freelance makeup artist in the DC area, and I've been doing YouTube now since May of 2009. I'm hitting my 10-year mark on YouTube next year, and it's like kind of freaking me out. It'll be a decade. It's like blowing my mind because I'm gonna be 30 this year as well. So that's a third of my life almost I've been on YouTube. Okay, I just did that math for the first time. That's really freaking me out. But I just wanted to sit and just tell you guys a little bit about how I got to this point in my makeup career. And I know a lot of you are aspiring to be makeup artists or beauty YouTubers or just creative content creators on YouTube, which is so cool. And the time we're living in is just the best to be able to be your own boss and to do your own thing. And so I hope that my story inspires some of you out there. I just turned on the camera. I just kind of want to talk, and I don't even want to edit this at all. So I just kind of want to get into it. And but when it was May in 2009, I uploaded my first video to YouTube, and I remember watching Marlena from Makeup Geek, and she had a contest for Halloween makeup, and I uploaded this photo. I can show you guys right here. I'm so glad I still have it because it was literally the starting point of my career. And I was always really artistic, loved just, you know, anything artistic, never necessarily makeup. I was actually always huge tomboy, played sports all my life. I was living in Arkansas at the time. So I'm originally from DC, but was going to school in Arkansas, playing soccer there. And, you know, my life was so far away from home. I was really kind of out of my comfort zone, and I was playing soccer. I'd played for 2 years, and I stopped playing for 2 years because I didn't like it very much. I didn't really like the 6 a.m. workouts. That must have been it, running a mile like every morning. I just hated that. So I discovered YouTube, and I discovered Marlena, I discovered Makeup Geek, X-Sparkage. I like had all these girls that I looked like, which is crazy. X-Sparkage, I'm now doing my collab makeup line with at Sally Beauty, and it's so surreal to like be alongside people who I look up to, just like seeing them grow and then actually meeting someone that it's just crazy to me. So I watched these women who were just so inspiring and, you know, showed how to do makeup, and 10 years ago it was so different. The platform was completely different, and I felt compelled to upload my first video to YouTube. And I uploaded, I think my first 20 videos I did not talk. Like I just like put my little like laptop up in my bathroom, the lighting was all yellow, and I just used my webcam and just hit record and put it in fast forward, and I just, you know, was going, and, you know, nothing crazy, just like very raw, organic, like very you know, amateur looking. But I'm so glad I did it. I mean, it's scary to put yourself out there on YouTube, and I just was like, I can do this. So I submitted my, you know, Halloween look. I think it was a cat, or like almost looks like a cow or something, to Marlena's to her contest. I didn't win, but it didn't discourage me. I kept uploading content online and pictures and videos, and started really gaining traction on there, which I started my channel because I actually really wanted to make friends. I was very lonely in Arkansas. I had all my friends on the soccer team, and they were all traveling, and they were all busy. They were in relationships. I was like, I feel alone. So I turned to YouTube, and that saved me. And I did not know this, but it had started my career that I did not know would be a career. I literally started it because I was like, I love doing this. I love being artistic. I love recreating looks. Like I would see a celebrity and I would recreate her look. I would be like, how can I do that? How can I do the drugstore version of that? Like I found it to be so exciting. If you guys have been following me a long time, my old screen name was Sunnyside Up 11100, which some of you guys like shout out sometimes, and it's just so funny to remember those days and being in my college bedroom and filming my hair tutorials and just really feeling, weirdly I felt I was alone technically, but I've never felt so connected or so inspired to create and to make people feel good. And there was just this really warm community immediately online, which was so, it was honestly intoxicating. Like I couldn't get enough of it, and I just was pumping out videos while I was getting my major in psychology. And that's what I went on to do. I went on to get my psychology degree, and I was, you know, pumping out videos as much as I could back in 2009. And in 2010, I believe, I started to gain like some traction on my channel and some interest, and I started, you know, I had the first instance I got as a makeup job was my roommate's sister for her wedding, and my jaw was on the floor when she asked me this. Like I hadn't had any experience with weddings. Yes, I did friends makeup for the weekend, and I did friends makeup for events or whatever, but never in a wedding sense. Like weddings freak me out. They still freak me out. I love doing them now, of course, but the magnitude of doing a job like that when I had no experience was terrifying. And a lot of you guys ask me now, like, how do I get started? This is how I got started. I had my friends who trusted me, were like, you're so good, you can do my sister's makeup, and my sister really likes what she's seeing on your YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel was essentially my portfolio and my resume, which was crazy. Like I didn't know it would be. Like it kind of just, I was organically doing this stuff, and then good stuff happened and presented itself to me, and it was like, do you want to do a wedding? And like, I mean, weddings started happening, and you know, booking clients, and which were a lot of people who I knew personally. So it was like friends putting in the good word for me, recommending me to their sisters. Like, so I did 3 friends' sisters' weddings in that first 6 months of after I got that first wedding. Like I got a few there. I remember even traveling down to Florida for one of my soccer teammates' sisters to do her wedding, and that, just driving down with my little makeup kit, I was like shaking. But you know, I just did what I was, you know, I was so into it, and I loved doing it on myself, on my channel. And you know, everyone was so positive and encouraging of what I did. And I didn't have a big makeup kit at the time. I just, you know, used what I had and cleaned it the best I could, and you know, just really just made it work. And I was like, it brought on such confidence for me, hearing that people liked it and said, you know, you're doing a great job, keep it up, whether it was online or in my real life. So that's what I did. I just kept it up. And I didn't seek out to be a wedding makeup artist, and I didn't seek out to be a huge YouTuber by any means, or even a guru. I remember everyone used to call themselves beauty gurus, and I'm glad that word is like dying out, because I was like, I'm not a guru, I'm just a girl who really likes makeup. So it's just wild to like go back that like 9 years now and kind of just think about my headspace then, and just I was so in love with what I was doing, and then just good things were coming out of it. It was very cool for me, and it still is. Like that has not gone away, and I'm so grateful for that. So since I was getting more things in person, I realized that I needed to grow my artistry more. I wanted to learn. Besides learning a lot on YouTube, like as much as content I was putting out, I was digesting the heck out of it. Like I was like all over all these girls' YouTube channels, learning, consuming. It was free information, and it just blew my mind that I did not need to go to cosmetology school to learn that technique, or I didn't need to pay a bunch of money to a school to be able to learn how to do makeup on someone else. Like I would see all this in this amazing community at the time. I was just shocked by that and felt so inspired and motivated to learn. And so, but I wanted more in-person experience. I was also, again, really lonely. So what I did was go to my local Mac counter, which was in Rogers, Arkansas, and it was at the Dillard's. If you're familiar with Dillard's, please let me know in the comment section. Some people in DC, I say Dillard's and they're like, what? But I know Arkansas, they have them in the South and I think the Midwest, but I applied to Dillard's, which was my local Mac counter. It was about 25 minutes away from me, from where I went to school. And I applied and I was like totally nervous. Like Mac was like the dream job for me. Like I literally had dreams about Mac, like how much I wanted to work there and how it would really just boost my confidence and I could learn so much. It could really take me to the next level. And just, I would think of those girls as just, you know, up here, and just had so much respect for Mac and just loved the products, of course. So I applied and I was shocked. I got an interview. I thought you had to have school. I thought you had to have a license. The manager there was like, okay, bring in a model and we'll do an interview. So that's what I did. I brought in my roommate Beth, and she was my model, and she gave me a scenario at the Mac counter for the interview, and I was terrified. I was literally shaking, but I was like, you know what you're doing. Just like treat it like you're in front of the camera doing your own makeup. I remember when I was doing Beth's makeup, I actually, like, she had contacts in, and I was doing eyeliner, and I literally swiped her lid and her whole contact went black. So like, you'd be looking at her eye and she just had a big black dot in the middle of her eye, and I was like, oh no, oh no. And Beth was such a good friend. She literally just ripped out her contact in the middle of it while the manager turned around. She just ripped her contact out and we just kept going and like made it work. And she was such a good friend. I will always like remember her for that. And I, you know, was communicative, I was charismatic, and then I just like knew the products very well, and I just was myself. And I don't know how, but I was so amazed that I got the job. And I started working at Mac part-time while in school, and it was such an amazing experience for me. I got to learn about different styles of makeup. I didn't know who would walk in the door, so I had to just be on my toes, ready to provide like makeup services for anyone and teach them and learn about, while people, it wasn't always the busiest counter, but what I would do was just study the heck out of the makeup, whether it was the ingredients or color combinations or just techniques, like face charts. I would just really stay focused and use that time wisely, because I was like, I want to learn. I was just so into it. Like there wasn't even like a bigger picture of like, I'm gonna be a makeup artist or a huge YouTuber. I just really wanted to learn and grow and just get to know makeup on a different level, because I just had discovered I just fell on this so organically, and I couldn't stop. So it was amazing working at Mac in Arkansas and met some wonderful people. It was such a good experience, and honestly, I was so happy I did that when I had this, you know, void to fill from quitting soccer. And so I, you know, continued there and then finished my psychology degree, and I moved back home and I continued working for Mac here in Northern Virginia, and I worked in a few locations. So I ended up working for Mac for about 5 years total. There were some parts where I was doing part-time, and then I was doing freelance, so I would be like bumping around a couple places. So I was starting to like phase out a little bit of Mac. I didn't want to completely give up the hours because I needed the income. I moved back in with my dad for several years, because this was I graduated a psychology degree, but I wasn't looking into jobs for psychology. I was starting to book, you know, some weddings for freelance, and then I really loved Mac, and my focus started to become makeup. I was like, this is so fun for me. I'm so passionate about it, and people really were starting to believe in me that I could do something. And I didn't even know you could make money on YouTube at this point. Like, the money did not come out of the gate. It took years for money to show up. I didn't even know that it was a possibility. So when people are asking me today, how do I make money from YouTube? Like, that is a long road, and if you want to start a YouTube channel or beauty channel, I would just recommend to not do it for the money, because you will burn out and it will get too much, because it is a pure love and joy experience here on YouTube, and you have to start with that, and then other things follow. But I just wanted to point that out because a lot of people do ask that, and it you know, pains me because that's not the right thinking for the YouTube space. What the YouTube space has allowed me to do is just be creative and fulfill parts of me that I didn't get anywhere else in my life. It was a creative outlet for me. It was a way for me to have community, and it's just so important for me to have you guys. This has been the backbone of just who I am for so long, and just it's honestly why it's been a launch pad for me to try a bunch of things and to meet a bunch of people. And I'm so grateful for this platform because it has brought a lot of opportunities, but I wasn't seeking it out to be like this opportunity. Okay, sorry about that, my camera died. So I was saying that I really want to emphasize that and drive that point home, that I really led with that foot of, I love this so much, and then good things came. And just, you know, I think your priorities have to be very clear in the beginning of why you're doing something and knowing your why. I'm a huge believer in that, especially, I mean, that's my mindset moving forward, and it's been my mindset with everything on this platform and with what I do. And so I've just led with that, and I've been very, very blessed. So, but during this time, I lived with my dad, so I was trying to save money. Everyone at this point of my friends has moved out. Tommy's moved out. I am, you know, at home with my dad, and it was financially a very important decision for me to be at home and saving as much as I could, because I, you know, wanted to save money for a kit. I was like adding stuff to my kit, and that's a whole separate video that I can do for you guys about building your kit and everything. But you know, there were so many aspects about freelance and working at Mac, and it, you know, wasn't the most lucrative job I had at the time. And I was like babysitting. I was looking for side hustles. I was just always looking for ways to make quick cash at the time, and just, you know, and just trying to save as much as I could, because my YouTube situation was doing well at this point too. So I was kind of like juggling a few things and trying to figure out where I was at. And I was like, am I going back to psychology? Like, am I going to go to grad school? It wasn't on the table yet, but it wasn't off the table. And because of how well my passions and hobbies were doing. I'm gonna prop you guys up a little bit. You're for some reason falling. I think you're in a puddle or something on my table. I have like spilled water. Okay. So yes, so I worked at Mac for another 3 years at home, and decided after saving money, I was actually told by the manager that I was not good at sales, which she was completely right. I was not good at encouraging people to buy more than one thing when they only came in for one thing. I will be the first to admit it. I was not good at sales. It is not my strength. And I didn't even take it personally. I knew I was at Mac to focus. I cared about the artistry and just really loved connecting with customers and, you know, just trying new things and new styles. So I took that experience as one of the best experiences, because I learned so much about makeup and different features, different types of people, and just the needs of different people as well. So if someone wants something specific, I have to be able to address that and be able to, you know, hear them as an artist and be able to execute that. That's super important, instead of always thinking to do things one way in my head. I just found that so fascinating and thrilling to kind of like meet in the middle as an artist and like someone who you're doing makeup on. It's just a really cool experience and connection to have. So I love that about Mac. And you know, during this I was still doing more freelance work. Like I would do a lot of friends' makeup in the area. I would be doing it for free. I would start taking pictures. I started an Instagram account, and that's what I mentioned in my freelance tips video that I recently uploaded, which I can put in the cards. But Instagram was huge for me. I, you know, could share my portfolio on Instagram when it was getting bigger, and it was just really, really a great resource to display that. And I got a affordable web designer. It wasn't a great website. So I went from Sunnyside up to ultamakeover.com, which I talked about also in that freelance makeup artist tips video. I was called Ulta Makeover, but people were having a hard time following me because it sounded like ultimate makeover. So people would type it in and not find me. So it was bad because I was not searchable. But it was good to have a landing page, and it just made me look a little more professional. It wasn't the most beautiful website, but it had my portfolio, and it had like a blog on there, I think. You know, I was doing all this when I lived at home and just kind of was like developing all this. I remember working so hard in my pajamas like late at night doing all this, and like, you know, feeling a little overwhelmed, but I was like, I need these visual outlets for people to find me, and I need to like learn all this stuff on my own, and just doing so much research and everything. So I was Ulta Makeover and starting to do some weddings, not a ton yet, but I was starting to, and so it was exciting for me. And then I had this really low point where I was like, you know what, I had left Mac, and then YouTube just kind of was folding on me at this, like, afterwards, and it freaked me out. It was just kind of like a weird drop off that happened for me, and it, you know, there wasn't a lot of money coming in, and there was a lot of brand opportunities. There was a few times I was kind of getting screwed. There was a point where I was so frustrated with myself because I was starting to take stuff that I didn't agree with. And I will admit this to you guys, like, there was a point where I took a brand deal and I was like, this isn't something I agree with. And I was just so mad at myself for that. I still am, and I've like tried to only partner now with brands and things that I truly believe in, because the money in the moment does not matter, because what you have to stick with is who you are. And when you put your head down at night, the decisions you make, you have to like really stand by. And like, there was a period where I just was I was like, I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. I just had such a low point, and I was like, you know what, I give up. And I actually started applying for sales jobs in the area. Can you believe it? I was applying for sales jobs. I didn't know what else to apply for because I just had a Mac experience and a psychology degree. So I just was looking for regular 9-to-5 jobs that I hate, like I hated, and I wasn't even getting hired. No one wanted me because I had no working experience besides retail. So I was so down in the dumps, and I honestly, like, a few months went by, I was searching for jobs, and I was just so low about it, and like hard on my confidence, living at home still. Just all my friends are going out and like out of the house, and, you know, I was comparing myself, but I was, you know, just confused and lost. And then I started reaching out to bloggers in the area and other makeup artists, started getting coffee with them and just trying to open up my network a little more, because I noticed I started isolating myself, and it was just not a healthy space to be in. I was so isolated, not learning anything new, not meeting anyone new. And I came across my blogger friend, who's one of my closest friends now, and her name is Meg Byram. And I'm sure you guys know her if you're in the DC area, but she started a women's, like, an office for business women of all different types in Georgetown. And I met with her, and I hit it off, and she said she had one more spot in her Georgetown office with all entrepreneurs, and asked me to join it. And it was like the craziest timing for me, and it was a crazy sign just to keep, because I was about to give up. I was about to like pull the plug on everything. I was so down, and like, because I think a lot of you guys don't even know this, but it was, I just felt like all the cards were stacked against me. And then she came along and was like, you need to do this, you're talented. And like, it was like what I needed at the time. It was like right place, right time, right thing to say. And she was amazing for that. I'll never forget her for that. But so I worked in this office with other women, other photographers, other people in the wedding industry, and it like changed my life. Like, I met so many amazing people. It just kind of gave me that like oxygen back that I was missing. Like, I just felt so inspired by these other women. I felt like a part of a community in person rather than just having the online community. I found a community in my local city, which was huge, because I didn't have that. I was just always online this, online that. So it was a very supportive group of women, and I just got myself back out there and got back on my feet, and would travel into Georgetown from, you know, my dad's place. And then, you know, I just really worked hard on my channel and pumped out more content, was consistent, not as consistent as I'm trying to be now. I've never had like a schedule like this before, but I was, you know, uploading videos like crazy, and then just really like trying to network and get to know local photographers, local planners, take people to coffee. Like I think I did so many coffee dates. I think that's like, I had like so much caffeine that year. But I worked in that office for 2 or 3 years. And it was wonderful, but I didn't go in enough. And so I just continued to work from home. But I was just texting with Meg today, but she really like changed that moment in time for me and just reminded me that I have a gift. And but I say this because there's gonna be there's ebbs and flows to the journey, and you know, I'm so grateful for that time, because it just, you know, it describes the highs for you as well as the highs describe the lows for you. Having that balance and really seeing what you go through and being tested really makes you come out on top and come out stronger, I think. So I learned so much during that time, and what I need to do for next time when I do feel that dip, because I still feel those dips. And so then now I am completely freelancing on my own, and I do weddings in the DC area. I do maybe 1 or 2 a month. I don't do them full time, but I do take them, especially during the high season. I did just get married this last year, so I did not do a lot obviously during the summertime, because I really wanted that time to myself. So I am doing makeup now full time, whether it's on my channel for the TLC network. I'm also TLC's beauty blogger, which is crazy to me. I do weekly how-to videos for their channel, and my series is called the Love Your Selfie series. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll link it below. But that's been such a blessing. They're a local network, amazingly. TLC I didn't know was from this area until they reached out, which the opportunity came from finding me through YouTube, which is crazy. But now I do a lot of DC weddings, and then I do a lot of lessons in the area, which are some of my favorite. I love teaching people how to apply makeup, whether it's in group lessons or one-on-one. So I do a lot of that as well. And then I do my makeup tutorials, and I also have another really exciting announcement to tell you guys about with something local, but I'll say that for another video. But yeah, so that is how I've gotten to this point, and it's been such an amazing journey, and I love what I'm doing more than ever. And you know, it is lonely sometimes. It's actually why I got Harper, because I was like, I feel like I need a dog around, and he makes me really happy. But I feel so lucky to have you guys, because you guys don't make me feel as lonely, and you guys are like the nicest people, some of the most encouraging comments. And even when you reach out to ask me to do your makeup, it is like, I mean, I think about myself 9 years ago, I still feel just the same way as I did 9 years ago. Like, it flatters me, it tickles me to think that someone wants me to do their makeup for their wedding, the biggest day of their life. Like, it is the biggest honor. It is such a rewarding job. You're not just making people look pretty, you're making them feel a certain way, you're connecting with them, you're getting to know them, you get to know their families. Like, it goes so much deeper for me, and so does this channel when I am talking to you guys and I get to know you guys behind the camera, and just when you guys get to know me. And I want to be more honest and more personal with you guys, and do these more talking style videos. I feel like a lot of editing starts to take away from who I am, from like kind of creates a wall between us, which I don't want. And I know a lot of you guys are trying to start your own businesses, or you're trying to be makeup artists, and it's just so cool to me that we live in a time where you can do it. It's the easiest time to do it now more than ever, with all the resources we have, and it's like free to learn online, which is crazy. So that is how I became a freelance makeup artist. A very long-winded story about that. I hope I'm not missing anything. I mean, I that's pretty much it of like how I got here, but I know I'm gonna wanna do like a spin-off of like a lot of things I've said. I'm already thinking of makeup artist ideas, but if you guys have any specific questions about how I became a freelance makeup artist and how I got to this point, because there's no perfect way to do it, and only one way, single way. There's definitely not a single track way. I had like a couple things happening at the same time, and all kind of weaved together, and people were involved. Like, it wasn't just, you know, I'm gonna be a makeup artist. Like, it kind of evolved into that because of several factors, and I'm really grateful for that. So, yeah, I hope this helped you guys out, or that you found it interesting or helpful. Just kind of my overall story. I am so grateful to be where I'm at today, and I've learned so much, and I'm continuing to learn. I'm continuing to be a student and like just a part of this community, and want to help you guys out there any way I can. Please let me know how I can. I'm happy to, because I love talking about this stuff. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for being here. As always, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you want more chatty videos like this, I would love to hear it. So I hope you guys are all having an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.